always be able to say things no matter how absurd or out there or utterly wrong they are and have people believe you. We as a race are just so impressionable that even a enforceable tone of voice is enough to convince us that the person is right, no matter what they are speaking about. It could be utter nonsense, but depending on how they say it or the circumstance in which it comes up as a topic, we are very likely to believe them. And we face this issue in friend groups, in social groups, on the news, from newspapers, from TV, from social media, from wherever there's information, depending on how it's presented, rather than the context, we will believe it if it's convincing enough in format, not so much actual texture. What we are thrown is not the sort of whatever the topic is, whether it's an article about so and so, or a friend telling you some gossip or whatever it is. It's not what's being thrown, it's how it's being swayed. It's the as I said, the presentation, the format, the form, the structure that really kicks in. There's parts of our brains that just click to that type of authority. It's like when it's presented to us from a newspaper, we just think, oh, newspapers, we should trust newspapers. We're supposed to trust newspapers. We trust them, thus, which opens us up to so much misinformation, so much falsity, so much fact. And the same is true with friends. We think we should trust friends because we like them and they are our actual physical friends, but still they can provide us with things that are wrong, whether they know they're wrong or not. Something gets passed on to someone, which gets passed on to your friend, who passes it on to you. It might be completely fictitious, but because it's come from a trustworthy source on your behalf, it will be completely accepted within you. You won't feel the need to doubt or judge it because of the source. And that's a real problem. That is how we get so diluted in the ways we move and go through life, when we are able to be tricked with such ease, when it has become literally a matter of saying a wrong thing to someone and it spreads to 100 other people. When it gets to that point, things are seriously wrong. Journalism is a thing you hear discussed about when all non-important, interesting but not newsworthy information that is often quite false goes out and is spun so severely several times over that so many people hear it and accept this falsity as fact. It's that same concept, but just much more dangerous because it actually becomes a part of our social living. We are at risk of putting ourselves in situations we think will work out one way because of the set belief we have in some sort of factor of it, and then we end up facing a complete opposite which can harm us mentally or physically. You could be told it's safe to go down a certain road late at night because someone told someone who told your friend they went down there and it's fine, it's just an exaggeration that it might be dangerous. So you go down that road and you end up getting jumped. Or someone tells you, it's okay to eat this certain thing because I read online that if the berry has 3 leaves, it's safe to eat. You eat the berry, you get food poisoning. We just can't trust based on source anymore. We have gone past the point of being able to allow ourselves to accept singular trusted sources. You can't have one newspaper that you read and you trust and you agree with. You have to be focusing more on the content. You have to be fact-checking the content. Even if it's the most trustable person or trustable entity you think it is, you have to check the content and not just the person. Because of course the person plays a huge part in it. But 1, they could be wrong without even realising it. And 2, without checking the content, you open yourself up to further misconception and incorrectivity from that same person, and you're building higher trust on false pretenses. You are growing and gaining nothing but damage, basically. You need to educate and fact check information, not just sources. There has to be credibility to content, not validity to the people giving it.